What do you think the job landscape is going to look like for the upcoming generations in the next 5 years?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. One of the things, so I'm an elder millennial, right? So I think about all the things that we've been through economically, right?
Mm,
Financially, right? Whether it's, I'm a '09 law grad, so the '08 issues, the issues that happened around 2000, like all these things that we've experienced, and Gen X to some degree as well. And I think what I hear a lot of folks expressing is that now, like there was this dream of go to college, go to work, climb this ladder, whatever that means to you.
mhm,
And people are starting to realize, and maybe the pandemic even heightened it, that maybe that wasn't what I should have been doing. This whole debt issue, I mean, we're recording this now, but the whole student loan debt issue, I've heard of people who, getting the runaround on whether it's getting paid off or
mm,
not. And I mean, there are folks in significant amount of student loan debt that truthfully they'll probably never pay off, right?
okay.
And so it's called what the pandemic has really caused a lot of folks to do in my generation and Gen X has really taught us to step back, like, wait a minute, what did we get ourselves into? And
Mhm,
I think Gen Z is seeing that. And they're saying, you know what? I don't want that. I don't want that. Some of them might, but I don't want that. And I've also seen, like, hey, I don't need to go to some organization and climb this proverbial ladder for whatever reason when I can make a livable, sometimes much more than livable wage in the creator economy, right? Whether
mhm,
that's being a freelancer, whether that's being a creator, and people may not agree with the types of creators that there are in this space, right? I won't go
mhm.
too deep into it, but there are people making pretty good money doing a whole host of things online.
Mhm,
And so when you see that and people see that, and granted, it's probably oversaturated, right? But knowing that that's an actual viable option, I think people are starting to look at work differently. And one other piece I'll throw on there is that this what the pandemic did, and what I've kind of noticed in my shows and some of the articles that I kind of read and digest, is that this whole option around where people work
mhm.
is a big thing. And if people can't work where they want to work, like remote, whether it be all of that, I think people are really starting to kind of push back on that, push back on some
Mm,
companies saying, hey, let's you have to come back.
mhm,
So over the next 5 years, I'm intrigued. I don't know what the landscape is going to look like for, like, I'm curious to see how quits look over these next few years. At the time we're recording this, even though my show is about the Great Resignation and I have, a lot of guests still about that, technically this phenomena from a Bureau of Labor Statistics standpoint, quits are kind of slowing down, right?
mm,
But what I wonder is if now folks are really, they're just taking the time to really plan out, to your point, really plan out what's next, the anticipated quits, because
mm.
now folks are coming back into the office potentially, and there's this tension between management and sometimes front line.
Yeah.
And so how that plays out, I'm just grabbing my popcorn, to be honest.